Yo, what is up, guys? Back with another YouTube slash IGTV video. This is complete improv too. I should probably be doing a buttload of homework right now, but guys, so I went to go see the new My Hero Academia movie, Two Heroes Rising. Now, if you guys do not want a huge backstory, there's probably going to be a nice clip jump after this, and I'm going to go right into talking about the movie. But if you're interested, this is the long take video right here. If you don't want to do that, if you're watching, the shorter version, guys, this movie was amazing. But into backstory, right? So I had heard about My Hero Academia for a couple years, and I'd been off the anime thing. But then, I jumped back on the horse. I got into Attack on Titan Season 3, and I heard about this My Hero stuff. And, I've been seeing Deku's face all over the place. This green-haired boy punching this giant robot. I'm like, what is this show? Why are people talking about this so much? So I finally watched the first 2 episodes, and then at the end of episode 2, I cried. I literally stopped and shedded tears because the amount of passion, the storytelling, the character development, it was so deep and it was so passionate, and I felt it. And since then, I have been a devout My Hero lover. I love My Hero Academia. It is one of my top 5 TV shows, just period. Deku is one of the best protagonists you could ever ask for. It's one of the best animes around right now, possibly, period. Okay, so as you can see, I love it. I've been watching it. I watched season 1 all the way through, season 2 back to back, and I finally caught up and I got into season 3. I was in season 3, then we took a break. We got into season 4. Season 4 was fire. We did everything with the whole Eri situation, with the Hasakai and the overhaul arc. It was amazing. It was all kinds of crap went down, people, and I was just so happy with this series. And then I heard about the movie, and you know what? Let me give you a little prep, right? So for those of you who know me in real life, you know that I work at Chick-fil-A. And what is it? I was working that night. I had a shift that was in the night and everything, and I wouldn't be getting off until 15 minutes before the movie started, right? But my buddy Nick, shouts out to my dude, texted me, said, hey, I'm going to that showing on Thursday night. Do you want to come with? I said, you know what? Bet. Let's see what happens. Let's see if I can get off of work on time and, try to get Uber and get up out of there. Long story short, I get off work late. I order my food. The Uber doesn't get there until 8, till about 5 to 10 minutes after the movie has already started. So I'm texting Nick. He's telling me what seat he's in so I can buy the ticket to get in next time. And I'm already late. It's 9 o'clock. The doors are locked to the theater because My Hero was the last film. And finally, I get into the theater. I get the ticket. I get all of that. I get in there. They're in the middle of a car chase. I sit down, and for the next 2 hours, I am stuck looking at the biggest screen ever that you could possibly imagine in a theater, next to my buddy, next to my buddies James and Nick, and we are watching what might be Hirokoshi's masterpiece. Now, there are a lot of different things that we could talk about this, but I do not have a lot of time. Again, I have a lot of homework to finish and stuff like that. So here is just 3 really basic points about what I think about this. The first one is just characters. The whole group as a whole. They reintroduced, and gave decent amounts of screen time for every character in this series, from Mineta to Toro to Kaminari. Everyone had a good point at this series. Now, did everyone get a really good action scene? Not necessarily. And what I mean by really good action scenes, I'm going to talk about in a second. But we got enough of them, and everyone was played out so well. And it got to the point where most anime tropes, if anyone watches anime, you know that most of these kids are 14 or 15 years old, and it's how are they fighting evil demigods or space aliens and stuff like that, right? They showed that these kids could not only handle themselves, but that they pushed themselves to the limit in the process of trying to handle themselves. They were alone. They were on an island. They did not have any help, period, with anybody, and they were up against 4 villains that could rival the League of Villains themselves. These guys were crazy. I loved each and every one of these villains. I think that they were a nice step up. I like the ideas. I see where Horikoshi is going with some of these characters, and it was just amazing to see all of this. It's so many callbacks, so many references, so many things to plan towards the future, and at the end of all of it, the character development that we got, and the push of where they were at their powers. It's like, how far can these kids go? How far can they go? Class 1A is killing it right now. Now, number 2 is fights. The fighting in this movie is like nothing you have ever seen. Now, the TV shows and the movies have very different budgets, and that was very apparent when they did the first movie. When they did the first movie, they released a scene from the very beginning of the movie showing a young All Might. Young All Might Yam is one of my favorite songs, and the scene itself is spectacular. Every image, every pixel is clear and image, and the choreograph is good like that. And you know, when it comes to animated shows, it's a whole nother thing. A whole nother thing than live action. With live action, you have to have stunt crew, animation, green screen, CGI. You got to plan this all out. And if you're going to do something like a long take or something like that, you can't cut back and forth. You can't so you can't do that in post editing. You have to get it all right in camera on that try. It doesn't have to be first try, but it has to be all right in camera. It can't be any post editing, right? With this, it's a whole other game because they have to do all these crazy things in animation. You have to think about this. Someone was sitting in front of a computer and slaving away for weeks at a time to produce what we saw in the first My Hero movie. And between the Deku Double Detroit Punch, the Yam scene at the beginning of the movie, when Bakugo and Todoroki went up against, those villains, like all of that stuff was amazing. And it shows the TV show in a whole new light, and it gives us the movie feel that mimics the TV show and adapts to the TV show, but at the same time, it is its own story. And the thing about the first movie and the thing about the second movie is that I'm almost positive, don't quote me on this, I will find this out later, Horikoshi, wrote and helped, and they developed all this production after the books were released. This isn't something that he had in a bonus copy of the manga, or it was supposed to be in the TV show but got cut. This was all Horikoshi on the spot, creating fresh, brand new ideas, unlike all the other stuff that was already pre-planned. Okay, here's where we're going to go with this next arc. Here's where we're going to go with this next chapter, right? No, this was all on the spot, and they fitted it in. They compact an entire movie worth of information into a matter of, say, a weekend that wasn't shown on screen. And they made up events and characters and gave out things that relate to the TV shows, but somehow still fit into this. And the fight scenes are a part of that, and they're the biggest explanation, the biggest thing about that. One thing that you can notice is that in the first My Hero movie, Deku has a red gauntlet that allowed him to basically go all out and allowed us to get some great action scenes between him and All Might at the end with the Double Detroit Smash, because he was able to go 100% without the risk of breaking his body, or breaking his bones rather. But then after doing the Double Detroit Smash, the gauntlet broke because it had absorbed way too much power. So that's why we don't see him using said gauntlet in the series, right? Otherwise, Deku doesn't have his arc anymore. He's not at 8%. He can just go full 100 without any problem whatsoever. And this series took the Double Detroit Smash and everything, all the fights, all the choreography, everything that went on in that movie, and said, they looked at the My Hero, 2 heroes, and they looked at that and they said, hold my beer, I'll be right back. This movie was incredible, and the main part of it, I believe, was they probably sat in the office and said, "Here, Koshi, hey, you want to do a movie, man?" It's like, what do you got? Well, I got one idea. What do you want? Let's do Deku and All Might doing a Detroit Smash together against a villain. Okay, so how are we going to get this done? I guess we got to write around it. We got to figure out who the villain is. We got to figure out how they get there. We got to figure out why Deku's able to do 100% Detroit Smash. We got to figure out all those things. And that's how the story started. They started from that particular moment, the prime moment for this movie, and worked their way to that. And figured out this entire movie. This movie was based off of one thing. One thing. Hey, can we get Bakugo and Deku to work together? And, you know, what is it, fight a really bad villain? We'll see if it can. Now, I'm gonna create a spoiler-free version of this and pretty much skip right through here. But I'm gonna talk directly about number 3. Bakugo and Deku. Bakugo and Deku. Oh my god. Bakugo and Deku have broken the limits. Anyone who saw this film knows what I'm talking about. They not only broke their own limits. Bakugo broke out of his own gear, for crying out loud. Deku broke out of his gauntlets again. He pushed it past 20%. Okay, this is an overhaul. He is last week's episode. This is 9 we are talking about here. He has 9 different quirks. He is a miniature all for one. And Deku and Bakugo went heads in. And Deku said he had a crazy plan. I looked at the screen. I said, What is he? What? Oh god, no. And then they did it. And my first thought was, wait a minute, doesn't he have to eat a piece of his hair? Is that what they're about to do right now? That's kind of stop the commotion and the intensity. They didn't do that. But still, he took all for one from him. And between the two of them, and Bakugo's already added quirk, oh my god. That was the most enjoyable 5 minutes of my entire life. I have never sat in the theater and wanted to scream so bad. Not in Endgame, not in Infinity War, not in Far From Home. No other movie has made me feel this way before. It was insane, people. It was 5 minutes of pure glory where the animation went from regular animation to high-speed animation to the best work that Hirokoshi's ever done to way past Plus Ultra here to the point where it was just glowing dots at one point. And I was just sitting there like, okay, can we come back? But can you not leave me here? Like, oh my god. It was amazing. It was spectacular. And I finally found the soundtrack. I'm not sponsoring anybody or anything like that. But if you have Apple Music or iTunes, the soundtrack is on Apple Music. Get the soundtrack, people. I am telling you. The last freaking song in the track, You Might. What is it? What is it called? It's called... What is it? It is one of the last tracks in it. It's track 32 out of 34. You Might by Michaela Phillips. My God, look that up online if you can't find it on iTunes. Lord Jesus, this song was amazing. It is the best thing I've ever heard. I love this show. And now, spoilers are over. Cut back. Welcome back to everybody who just came back from the non-spoiler stuff. So, with everything that's going on in this series, with everything that just happened, between the overhaul, Unbreakable, what is it? The Bullets, Eri, the show has opened up so many different possibilities, and now it's just at the point, like, you have to think about this. When did My Hero first start, right? When did My Hero first start? Let's look at that really quickly, okay? Because I'm pretty sure the comic book series has probably been out for a minute. But when did My Hero Academia, the series, start? And it just, like, took off in the anime industry. The live, actual anime series, right? So, let's see. First episode. Okay, so according to Google, Episode 1. Let's see here. Episode 1 aired in 2016, April 3rd of 2016, people. Since 2016, in a matter of 4 years, they have grown to a point that, dare I say, is competitive to Marvel's MCU. They are at that point where we're looking at them with every eye is on them. They are the best thing around. They are knocking everybody out of the park, going over everything, destroying what it is to be an anime superhero right now. And it's kind of like, Hirokoshi, where do we go from here, man? What do you have planned next that will top what you got right now? Because I know he got some plans. I know there are books about the young years of All Might. I know there are books out there about, Aizawa and President Mike and a bunch of other heroes when they were kids. I know that according to the Wikipedia page, there's like 6, 7, 8 more arcs in the book that have not even been on screen yet. Hirokoshi! Man! Bro, you out here killing it. Thank you so much. You have given a gift to the world, my friend. And now, we're at 16 minutes, with 15 minutes left to go before I have to start school. I bid you guys a goodbye. Subscribe, like, comment for anybody out there who has seen the movie, and for my guys, my boys, Kitty Dubs, Nick, James, Sarah DeRosa, Andrew, John, Dan. Guys, when you guys see the movie, come talk to me. Comment in below, like, they took Go Beyond and literally, man, I'm about to go see this movie again. Forget this, like, forget school, forget work, forget everything. I'm about to go sit and go watch this movie at least 3 more times. Like, I'm dead serious. I'm about to go see this movie again. I'll see y'all around.